Is the Joker the greatest pop culture villain of all time? I was confronted with this question when I saw someone say that very thing on Twitter, X, whatever. And I was like, wait a second. I was immediately like, no, that's crazy. But then I was like, wait a second. Who else would we even talk about in that conversation? What other villains have the kind of legacy and history on screen or in any medium that the Joker has? I can think of a couple, but I went from thinking this was a silly statement to maybe being true. And so that's why I want to talk to you guys about it and see where you come down on this.
Well, first of all, the Joker, it's a classic it's a classic basic idea, right? This is a guy who thinks crime is funny. Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, it is. The Joker represents an innate part of the human mind. I think it's what we would do if we weren't shackled by rules, and I think it's something everyone thinks about.
That's what you would do?
Well, like we, as in the royal we, you know.
Not me.
If rules didn't exist, well, it's because you are a shining knight, Sean, in this world.
Fragile.
We went about that very different ways. So I think it's like the there is a kind of universal nature to who the Joker is, and I think that's malleable too. We've seen it all throughout any form of, I guess, Batman fiction, whether it's books, games, movies, TV, comics. Forgot about that.
Never heard of him.
And I think even if you just look at Joker from like films, he's the most used villain out there. He's kind of like the A Star Is Born of movie villains, where somebody else always wants to redo him in its own way. Yeah, I can't. Do you guys have any other thoughts about anyone else that you can use as like a counter argument? I don't even think it needs to be a comic book
Vader.
character.
Yeah,
Darth
Vader's who I think of
Vader.
first.
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, look, the Joker's definitely had the most appearances, I think, of any pop culture villain in film, right? In the sense that we've had what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different Jokers, different Joker
But
appearances.
yeah, plus if you go further back to the person who inspired him, Conrad Veidt, in the original Man Who Laughs. Not the Joker, but not the Joker. So he also has the earliest on-screen depiction.
Interesting. I've never heard of that.
Ooh, look
It's
that
like
up real quick, Sean. The
Yeah.
Man Who Laughs, 1932.
Wow.
Old silent movie, right?
Yeah, I think so.
What's it like during German Expressionism? Like,
Yeah, probably.
I think that's what inspired. Yeah, that's inspired the actual comic character. Yeah, yeah. Creepy looking dude though, that's for sure.
Interesting. I looked it up and I can immediately see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see the influence. What do you think it is that, because Tyler talked about the universal nature of the Joker. I'm wondering what it is that makes the Joker so attractive to people. Because there's there's the aspect of him that Tyler talked about where it's like the part of you that wants chaos.
Mm.
It's the part of me that thinks, man, I want to push my AC out the window. Not because I
Right.
want to do it, but because it's just crazy and chaotic,
Yeah.
But the Joker would think that and then do that. Or he wouldn't even think about it. He would just do it.
Yep.
And then he would laugh when it lands on somebody, on the ground floor. That's the type of person that the Joker is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, like Tyler did say, that is somewhat attractive to people. The other thing, though, that I think makes the Joker so attractive on a universal level is his relationship with Harley Quinn. Now, obviously, that is not always depicted on screen, but everybody who knows about the Joker pretty much also knows about Harley. And we've seen how her popularity has risen. And a lot of that is due to their relationship. Remember when Suicide Squad was coming out, the original one? That was probably the height of the Joker's popularity, if like in my mind. Or maybe Dark Knight was. But in any event, all I remember from that year's Comic-Con was Joker and Harley Quinn. Halloween, it was all Joker, Harley Quinn. And I think a lot of people know the relationship is terrible, but they love it, and that increases people's love for the Joker. It's like he's a whole person. Like he's got a girl, you know, he's got goons, he's got like Darth Vader doesn't feel like that. You know, Darth Vader doesn't have a girl. Darth Vader has a very strict track of a story and very little personality because he's meant to represent something bigger and blah, 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 blah. But the Joker, we've seen so many times, and he's got a full life that we know about in some ways that I think makes him more palatable and attractive.
There's a cool factor to the Joker that is enviable to some.
Right.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think, I mean, in terms of external comics media, we've only really seen Joker and Harley twice, with animated series and then the film, and then Jared Leto's Joker, which is the worst depiction of him, I think. But I think that's a pretty good point. You know, he's the guy that's got it all because he takes whatever he wants. He's the bad boy idea, you know.
Well, and you know, to extrapolate that another step, like, you know, his rival, when you take away the dark, brooding, mysterious nature of Batman, he's just Superman. You know, he's a blank slate of a guy who, you know, has to follow the rules, has to follow his rules, and has to deny himself anything he could possibly want for his mission.
He could have it, but he rejects it. The Joker wants it, so he takes it.
Yep.
And there's a distinct lack of responsibility for the Joker, too. You know, Batman is burdened with responsibility. The Joker doesn't care. And, you know, the idea of, like, not having to have responsibility, like, that small idea is great, I think. If I could just, like, you know, just do whatever I wanted. This is that extrapolated to the extreme. So there are parts of the Joker where it's like, you know, that's nice. I mean, unfortunately, we've had people in the real world have, you know, actual, you know, urges and wanting to be the Joker and do that, and bad things have happened because of that.
That wasn't true. That was not that was not true.
It was enough so to put it in newspapers.
Yes. It was
so the idea of it was at least true.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's I mean, and then if we just look at the numbers, Joker is the only character to have two actors win Oscars for that character, with Joaquin Phoenix and Heath Ledger. I don't think there's any other film character where that's happened.
And what other film villain would you say has also been the primary character of their own movie who we talk about on this level? Like the Joker has his own movie.
Hannibal Lecter had a movie as well. I mean, Hannibal Lecter is a good character as well.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I think, you know, when you talked about the malleability of the Joker, which of course Batman is a hyper malleable character, every phase that Batman has had in any medium, the Joker has followed it. So when Batman was, you know, a campy character, the Joker was campy. When Batman got dark again, the Joker was the Joker that we know now.
When Batman needed to hang out with Scooby-Doo, the Joker was with him.
Right. The Joker can be in an R-rated movie, but he can also be on Scooby-Doo. You know, like that's crazy. That's malleability that I don't think any other villain has. I wouldn't even say that Darth Vader has that level of malleability.
No.
And the Joker is going to be in a musical coming up. I don't see a Batman musical anytime soon, besides that one episode of Brave and the Bold with Neil Patrick Harris.
Is he in that?
Yeah, yeah, he has a great solo in it. Yeah.
You know what's funny though? Not that I want this, but I think that could even work for Batman.
Oh, I 100% agree. Let's
Sorry.
get Bono and the Edge to do the musical.
Not again.
I know Batman was in that episode. I was on the Joker. Another related to that malleability is the creativity angle for the Joker. He's so it's such a challenge to top the last appearance and to make him either more evil, more bad, or more terrifying.
Yeah. And I've personally been enjoying watching that, like that ramp up. It's been a lot of fun to watch from. I mean, I think you could go all the way to Cesar Romero and up, and you can see how the Joker has changed and become darker and scarier, because the next Joker was Jack Nicholson, which is like a fun Joker, but he'll kill you. And it'll be funny how you die, but you'll die. Then you get to Heath Ledger, and it's like this is not a funny person. This is a dark dude. But the like there's laughs to be had. He's just a dark guy with real plans. Then you get to Suicide Squad, which, I mean, my God, please. That was bad. But even the Batman, the most recent Batman film, has the Joker. Oh, you didn't see it?
I still haven't seen it.
Oh my God.
Going strong, baby.
Wow. You stick to your guns.
Yay. There's one thing you can say about me.
That movie's good, dude.
Hey, listen, I'll take your word for it.
Wow.
But Joker is in it.
Right. The point that I was angling toward in that particular case is that it's even darker than what we've gotten. And I'm just, I just think it's interesting how everybody's upping the ante with that character. Will we ever see it go the other way again, do you think? On screen, at least.
I would love that. I would love that.
Go back to campy?
Yeah, like, it's gone so dark, can it go backwards?
I would love to see a camp Joker turn before Batman. And I don't know how you could continue it, but like Dark Batman can't win that. He just can't. But like Camp Joker, I don't know, man. I think that would be incredibly interesting to have him like step back.
I mean, there's no Batman going to be in it, but I think the possibility of what Joker 2 is, with, you know, it being a musical and Lady Gaga on there, I think there is a possibility for high camp in that movie. I don't think it needs to be goofy to be campy. But there's no Batman in that world, so what Cale wants won't happen there. But I think the second Joker movie has some potential for that.
I think that the potential for what Cale's talking about exists with the upcoming Batman and Robin movie.
That's true, yeah.
Because if the Joker is campy, having a Robin present for that kind of thing makes a lot of sense to me. It is Damian, so maybe not. But if it was, you know, a young Dick Grayson, for example, and him kind of matching the Joker's energy, and then Batman maybe like being not, you know, on the opposite end of that spectrum, or maybe even a lighter Batman because he has a Robin. It's interesting because we have not seen that yet. and there are still permutations that we can get to with these characters.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that could be interesting in that way of like, this dark Batman has to. I think it's a great idea. It's a dark Batman that has to lighten up because of Robin, and he can because of Robin to match the Joker's level. And I think, I'm sure there have been plenty of stories, but Dark Victor is, about that as well.
Right. Absolutely. I think the Joker is the greatest. I do. It's funny because I definitely thought at first, hell no. But with everything we've said and coming into this conversation, I think it's true.
Like, it's gonna sound hyperbolic, but like I can't think of anyone in any medium that's as frequent and well done than like the devil, like the idea of the devil.
Literally all I could think of.
Yeah.
No, you know what? That is definitely the right answer. The devil is the greatest pop culture villain of all time.
I mean, it goes all the way back to Paradise Lost, right? Like,
it goes all the way back to the Bible.
You saying that's fiction, Sean?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just,
I mean, then you have Al Pacino playing the devil in what was that movie with?
I know what you're talking about.
It's a really bad movie, but yeah.
Al Pacino movie that's bad?
There's a lot.
Elizabeth Hurley. I mean, come on.
Was it The Devil's Advocate?
It was The Devil's Advocate. Yep.
That's a bad movie?
I didn't know that.
Oh, it is a horrible movie.
What? Are you being serious? Because I've always heard that's a classic.
It's a classically dumb movie.
Oh, all right.
I find it to be next level bonkers, that movie. But I also watched it in the vein of watching it because How Did This Get Made watched it. So it might have been skewed a bit.
Well, in any event, I want to hear from you guys. Who do you think is the greatest pop culture villain of all time? Do you agree that it's the Joker? I think we've laid out a pretty good argument for the Joker. Go ahead.
Again, like Hitler isn't enough media, but he was real, so I guess it doesn't count.
I'm gonna say no to that. But definitely let us know who you think is the greatest pop culture villain of all time. Is it the Joker? Go ahead.
No, I just realized the perception of that. I'm just saying the most frequently used in film. Guys, I'm gonna clear my slate here.
Even still, I don't think you're right.
I definitely don't think you're right, and I definitely think that that's like on the border of offensive. So we're going to completely no-sell it further and say we want to hear from you all about who you think is the greatest pop culture villain of all time. There are other people that it could be, and maybe you've got another answer that we didn't think about. So leave it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.